Did you know that 75% of chiropractors aren't doing any type of digital marketing for their practice? That's right. I was just out at the Las Vegas Parker Seminars Chiropractic Conference for 2019 a few weeks ago, and I wanted to talk about one of the key takeaways that I had from my time there at the conference. Now, if you stay on to the end of this video, I'm going to give you three free things that you can start doing today that you can deploy as a digital marketing strategy for you and your practice if you hang on and wait with me till the end. So, I want to kind of give you some context from our time at the conference. I went out with Casey O'Quinn, who is the founder of Gravity Digital, and we went to Dr. Tony DeRamis's talk on the 4 P's of $1 million practice, or the 4 pillars of $1 million practice. And Casey and I are sitting there in the front row, and we're frantically taking notes because we're learning a lot ourselves just about business and structure and the things that we need to be doing in order for us to grow, right? So we're sitting there taking notes. And the biggest part of Dr. Tony's talk was on PR, or as he liked to call it, the actual marketing, right? He called it PR because he needed the 4 P. You get it, right? Okay. So he had the biggest part of his talk be on marketing. Right? And so he's talking through things like target market and target audience, right? The target market being the people that are looking for your services right now today. They have back pain or neck pain or shoulder pain, and they want to come in and pay you to help them. Then he talked about target audience, right? The people who aren't necessarily in the market right now today. They might have the means, right, to pay for your services, but they're not looking actively for somebody like you. They don't have back pain. They don't have shoulder pain, right? So he talked about how if you really want to grow $1 million practice, you need to learn how to talk to the people in your target audience as well as the people in your target market. And so this was key, right? So we're sitting there, we're taking notes. And at one point, Dr. Tony says, how many of you in this room, right? We're in a room of chiropractors, a chiropractor conference besides us, right? How many of you in this room are currently doing some type of digital marketing or have done some type of digital marketing in the past? So Casey and I look up. That's a good question. And we look, and only 25% of the room had raised their hands. Now, it was a little early in the morning, so it was about 8:30 a.m., so people might have been a little tired and, who knows, maybe hungover from the night before, so they weren't really paying attention to raise their hand, and they might be doing it. Or they might be somebody who's in school or just an associate, they don't understand if, their practice does any of this stuff. So there's a little bit of leeway in those numbers, right? That's where I got that number. It wasn't from some poll by some magazine or whatever. It was just from what we observed in this room. In this room, only 25% of the room out of 200 to 250 people were doing digital marketing. And it was mind-blowing to us. Like, we left that talk and we discussed it like, wow, there is I think a massive need for education on digital marketing for chiropractic practices and for healthcare in general, right? So we discussed this, and what I really wanted to do was kind of give you guys three things that are free that you could start doing to deploy some type of digital marketing strategy for you and your practice today. And one of the first things that I'm going to mention, we're going to link everything you need down below, all the things that I'm mentioning here down below so that you can go and go a little more in depth on them, what they actually are. So number one is what we call before and after exercise. And what this basically means is that you're going to sit down and you're going to think about your ideal patient, the people that you really enjoy working with, that aren't necessarily a pain in your side all the time, but you enjoy helping. And you're going to sit down, you're going to write their before states, and you're going to go through these questions and write out their before states and then their after states when you help them. What do they look like after you help them? It might be Tom, who literally can't play with his kids and couldn't mow the yard, and afterwards he's able to play with his kids and mow the yard and do things around the house and help out his wife and his family, right? Like, that's a before and after state. And those are powerful things to work through. And so you can link those down below. But this is a good place to start because it helps you understand your ideal patient and what their pain points are and how you help solve them and how you can talk about how you solve them in a way that makes sense to them and gets them to want to come in, and they get to know and trust you before they ever step foot in your office. The second thing I want to talk about is the actual part of some type of deployment. Now that you have an understanding of who your ideal patient is, now what do you do with that information? Well, the first thing would be go and start some type of Facebook page. If you haven't already, please go and start a Facebook page for your practice, okay? I know you have your personal profile most likely, but start a page on Facebook and Instagram for your practice. The other thing is to make sure you have a Google My Business listing, right? Like you need to make sure that you are seen and you are in all the places where somebody might search for you. All the free ways to do this. Like you might already have your website and that's great. You probably paid for that, or maybe you built it simply on a Wix site or whatever, and that's great. However, you need to be on places like Facebook and Instagram and all the other places that somebody could find you, right? So that's kind of the first part of number 2. But the second part of number 2 is most of us all have a phone, right? You all have some type of phone. And if you have any type of new phone, it shoots really great video. So just like you're watching right here, I am simply recording a video, giving out some information, talking as simply as I possibly can so that you can understand me, and sharing information. Now, this takes my time, yes, and there's time to edit and there's time to go over some of the information and outline it. However, it's not costing me money to do this. This is free. It doesn't cost me money to jump on a Facebook Live and push go live and talk to my audience. It doesn't cost me money to do that. It costs me just my time. And I know you might be thinking, well, Tyler, I don't have the time, right? Well, just document what you're doing. As you're going throughout your day, just make a conscious effort to pull up your phone and just talk about what you're actually doing in the moment. It doesn't have to be long. You don't have to sit here for 15, 20 minutes. This video won't even be 15, 20 minutes. But just share information in a way that is understandable for your audience, for your ideal patient, in a way that they can understand it. And a key point there is to make sure they can understand it. I know as a doctor, sometimes it's hard to not go into all this technobabble and talk about things that they don't understand. And so you need to use what I like to call kind of like bridges, where you help them understand through, it's kind of like this, right? So you go and as soon as you say a word that they may not understand, you say it's kind of like this jelly donut in between your, so you know where I'm going with that, right? It's a kind of like bridge. And so that's a way to easily break down what you just said that might be complex and they don't understand it, to make it super easy to understand and they can relate to it. They will like you a whole lot more and trust you a whole lot more if you can do that than if you try to spout off these, big words that they don't understand, okay? So that's number 2. Number 3 is this. Go and don't solicit, but encourage feedback and reviews from your current patients. This is something that we don't see a lot of practices do very often or do well. And maybe that's the key point, is they don't necessarily do it well. And guys, this is free as well. This is free for you to be able to go out and ask people, hey, if you really liked, your service today, liked how things went, or you're feeling better, would you mind just leaving us a review on Google or Facebook? Okay, guys, but you need to, number 1, as a part of number 2, go and start the Facebook page and the Google My Business listing and all these places so that they can actually leave reviews. This is a big part for number 3. But if you go and ask them to leave a review, most will. Some won't. That's okay. But most will. And guys, this is a big piece of digital marketing, is just social proof that you exist and that you actually help people. And the reviews are big for that. If you want to take it to the next level, you could even do, a review with a patient by filming and just asking them some questions and have them answer on the video and post that to your Facebook page. That's another thing that you can do, right? So you don't necessarily have to do ads. You don't necessarily have to pay all this money for expensive software. Guys, these are mostly all free things that you could start doing today, where if I opened my doors, a week ago and I was trying to be known, there were some other things I would do, but at the very least, I would start with those 3 things. So number 1, do a before and after exercise. Find out who your ideal patient is. Who are the people that you enjoy working with and really helping? Do they have typically a specific kind of pain? Do you like helping people with shoulder pain compared to back pain or neck pain? Whatever it is, find out who that ideal patient is. And then all the content that you start creating will be around that before and after exercise. What questions do they have? What pain points do they have that you help solve? Now you can start figuring out what your content is for number 2, the videos, and being on all the places that your prospects, your potential patients are on. Facebook, Google, Instagram, etc. Go and create those free accounts. Then start using your phone or any type of camera to just start creating some content, answering the questions that are in their heads already, and putting it out there for them to see and for them to know. It's free for them to learn, and that's okay. But you're starting to build that trust with them. And then the third and final thing is make sure that you go and ask for reviews. If they have a great experience with you, ask them to write about it on Google or on Facebook, or whip out your phone, shoot a quick video with them, and post that to your Facebook page. I hope those three things help you. It's a quick, easy method that you can deploy. And what I'll do is we'll link down below. We have a roadmap that we've created here at Gravity Digital for what we would do if we just started out to where we want to go. What would we do step by step to get there for a digital marketing strategy as a practice? So what would we do as a roadmap? We'll link it down below. You can also go to our chiropractic marketing playbook that we have on our website. We'll link that down below as well, and you can go and see that information and figure out the things that you need to do. If you're not sure how to set up a Facebook Business Manager, go to the chiropractic marketing playbook and you can learn that. Plus all the other things that you need to kind of get started on digital marketing, period. Guys, 75% of the room didn't raise their hands in Las Vegas. Only 25% did. That was big. You could just be one step ahead of everybody else in your area just by being on digital, right? Just by being in these places your customers are looking. So be ahead of your competition. Start with at least those three things, and you'll be on your way to success in 2019. Thanks for checking this out. We hope this information is helpful. Let us know down below if there's any more information that you'd like to learn, and we'd be sure to and be happy to build out some videos and other content for you. But thanks for checking out, and we'll see you all later.